All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim O'Neill. I'm the district attorney here in Forsyth County. We called a press conference this afternoon to discuss the SBI and the medical examiner's findings of the in-custody death of Travis Page. Back on December the 9th of 2015, Winston-Salem police received a call for service from the Family Dollar. That Family Dollar is located at 4404 Old Rural Hall Road, which is in Winston-Salem. Mr. Hall was the manager at that Family Dollar, and he told communications he heard numerous gunshots outside the store. He advised the shots were coming from the parking lot. He stated he never saw the shooter, but had access to exterior surveillance footage. Another citizen of Winston-Salem was a patron in the parking lot of the Family Dollar. That person also called WSPD Communications when he and his wife heard the shooting. This caller advised a group of 4 to 5 subjects were arguing in the parking lot when 2 of them pulled out pistols. The caller reported that a large black male with dreadlocks slapped a smaller subject. He added he provided a description of the large black male to communications. He said he provided location updates on the large black male after he fled the scene on foot. This caller advised that he saw the subject on Old Walkertown Road and told communications of the same. WSPD officers Conrad, Tuttle, Fenimore were handling a runaway call at a residence that was located on the corner of Old Walkertown Road and Stowe Street at the same time that the discharging firearms call was reported. The Family Dollar is in close proximity to where the 3 officers were handling the runaway call. Officer Conrad heard the discharging firearms call dispatched over the radio and exited the residence. Officer Fenimore also exited the residence and saw a subject who matched a description of the subject in the discharging firearms call. The subject was walking along Old Walkertown Road. The subject then started walking on Stowe Street towards where the Winston-Salem officers Conrad and Fenimore were already handling the runaway call. Conrad and Fenimore approached Travis Page on Stowe Street. The officers asked Page to show them his hands. The officers felt like he was going to comply with that order. However, Travis Page turned around and started running towards Old Walkertown Road. Fenimore and Conrad chased Page across the street. The officers advised that Page ran across the street, tripped, and fell in a ditch on the side of the road. Conrad focused on Page's left side, while Fenimore focused on Page's right side. Fenimore stated he was attempting to handcuff Page's right hand, while Page continued to resist. Fenimore added Page attempted to get up using his hands and knees. Officer Christopher Dowd was handling an unrelated call when he heard officers call out a foot pursuit via radio. Dowd advised he responded to the scene and saw Fenimore, Tuttle, and Conrad struggling with Page. He stated Page's legs were moving back and forth. He added Page was trying to pull his arms under his body while the officers were attempting to handcuff him. Officer Fenimore stated that Page grabbed his fingers and started to bend them. Fenimore stated that he sprayed a 1/4 second burst of OC spray in the direction of Page's face. Page was eventually handcuffed. Page's pockets were then searched by Dowd. Dowd stated he located a revolver, what he thought was crack cocaine, and money in Page's pants. He added that Page never spoke or resisted while he was searching. Detective Christopher Murray Rakes arrived later on the scene and took possession of the gun. Officers at that point tried to turn over Travis Page, but discovered that he was unresponsive. Officers started conducting life-saving techniques on Page. Daub advised he administered Narcan to Page's right thigh at 7:42 p.m. Narcan, of course, is the drug that's administered when you believe that someone is suffering from a heroin overdose. Fenimore told the SBI investigators that he advised EMS was requested and responded to the scene. Detective Edward King of the Winston-Salem Police Department had arrived at the scene to assist and also saw that Page was unresponsive. Detective King gave the subject, Mr. Page, 2 or 3 sternum rubs with no response. King added he checked Page's pulse with negative results. King advised he started CPR on Travis Page after his handcuffs were removed from the back. EMS responded to the scene and continued CPR on Page before transporting him to the Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. The District Attorney's Office and the Winston-Salem Police Department, by joint request, have requested the SBI to come in and conduct an independent investigation. It's a calming feeling in the community when citizens know that an independent law enforcement agency is brought in and asked to examine and conduct the investigation and turn those results over to the District Attorney's Office. I'm now going to ask the medical examiner, Dr. Mcdonald, to come up and explain her findings, and then we're going to show you some video and play you some 911 tape. So, Dr. Mcdonald, if you come up here, please. If you would start, please, by spelling your name and giving your correct title to everyone out here.
Sure. So I'm Dr. Anna Mcdonald, A-N-N-A. Last name is M-C-D-O-N-A-L-D. So I am both a Forsyth County medical examiner, and I'm also a forensic pathologist at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. And so I want to talk to you about what my autopsy findings were in the autopsy of Travis Page. And to begin, I think one of the easiest ways to explain is to explain to you what injuries I did find. So one of my main jobs as a medical examiner is to categorize any and all injuries, whether they be minimal or life-threatening. So the injuries that I did find, let me say, were not lethal in and of themselves. We have some areas of bruising that I want to tell you about. So there is a 9-centimeter area of bruising or hemorrhage under the scalp on the right-hand side. The underlying skull and the underlying brain had no injuries to them, so it was a superficial injury. There were 3 areas of hemorrhage noted up near the shoulders. So there were 2 3-centimeter areas of hemorrhage on the right shoulder, sort of up high. And there was about a 7-centimeter area of hemorrhage on the left side. So we have 3 sort of areas of hemorrhage into the subcutaneous or the fatty tissue of the shoulders, a little bit of bleeding into the scalp with no underlying intracranial injuries. Finally, we have a small amount of internal bleeding kind of up high in the groin on the right-hand side toward the hip, along the spermatic cord. So those are the areas of bleeding that I was able to see upon more superficial dissection. I should also note that he had abrasions on his left knee along with dirt surrounding it, consistent with the fall into the ditch. So those are the injuries that I did see. Now I want to talk to you about the injuries that I did not see. So I did not see petechiae, which is a finding that is associated with an asphyxial component of the death. So no petechiae in the eyes, in the mouth, around the eyes. Additionally, as I said, I didn't find any intracranial injuries underneath that bleeding on the right-hand side, so the skull was intact, the brain was intact. Now, in these kinds of cases, you obviously want to catalog anything that could be wrong in the anterior neck or the posterior neck, looking at all the structures, so the muscles, the vessels, the bones themselves, and none of which had injuries from both the front and the back of the spine. After that, we actually examined the entirety of the spinal cord, so we wanted to make sure that the spinal cord wasn't damaged, and it was not damaged. So The injuries of which I spoke, again, are bleeding into the scalp, some into the fat of the shoulder, a little bit into the groin, and then the abrasions or the skin scrapes on his knee. So those are the injuries that I did find, and then the pertinent negative injuries that I did not find. Now I want to talk to you about the natural disease processes that I found in Mr. Page as well. He was, at autopsy, he was found to be morbidly obese with a body mass index of 47, so he was a large gentleman. Internally, he had what we call cardiomegaly, or a big heart. It was 640 grams, which for a gentleman of his height, it should be roughly half that. And you might think that an enlarged heart may be a good thing. He has a big heart, but actually big hearts are prone to arrhythmias or abnormal beatings of the heart. And so a big heart is in fact a risk factor for sudden death. In addition to his enlarged heart, one of the walls of his heart, called the left ventricle, it was enlarged as well, or hypertrophic. So he had thickened wall of the heart and a big heart, both of which are associated or are findings of hypertension, which this decedent, Mr. Page, did have as well. Now moving sort of downward, he had an enlarged liver, and that liver itself was very yellow or steatotic or fatty, as sort of another way to think about it. So a fatty liver is something that is associated both with obesity but also with chronic alcohol use, which I understand Mr. Page had as well. At the time of his death, we also found through toxicologic analysis that he was acutely intoxicated with alcohol. Other than alcohol, he had some nicotine and caffeine on board, but no other drugs of abuse. So we've discussed the heart findings, we discussed the liver findings as they relate to alcohol. And then that's what we found at autopsy. So the autopsy for my job is only one part of the medical legal death investigation. I collected data from as many sources as I could find. So I got the EMS run sheets, the fire department run sheets, meaning their records from the incident. I obtained the body camera footage of the 3 officers that are being discussed today and reviewed them from beginning to end to fully kind of elucidate what these events were that happened. So what I did find through the run sheet of EMS is that once he was hooked up to the monitor, or the heart monitor in the ambulance, he was found to be in an abnormal heart rhythm called ventricular fibrillation. So as I said, big hearts are prone to weird heartbeats or dysrhythmias or arrhythmias, and his was actually captured on an EKG monitor. Now, in viewing the body camera tapes, there are important things for me to try to understand as the forensic pathologist. Could pepper spray have played a role, et cetera? And as we'll see in the video camera footage, the administration of the pepper spray, you'll see, but however, it appears to only have made contact with his dreadlocks. So I did not hear or see any evidence of inflammation of the respiratory tract that would indicate the effects of pepper spray on this individual. I did not see petechiae that would indicate, and the video camera footage, I did not see any evidence to suggest there was a positional asphyxial component to this death as well. What I do know from the run sheets, from the autopsy, and from the video camera is that, the body camera footage, I apologize, is that this individual had a cardiac dysrhythmia, or an abnormal heart rhythm, due to hypertensive cardiomegaly, big heart, in the setting of physical restraint. So we have, obviously we classify that with my cause of death. So again, cardiac dysrhythmia due to hypertensive cardiomegaly in the setting of physical restraint. So then my next job is to classify manner of death, and manners of death come up as natural accident, suicide, homicide, or undetermined. So in this particular case, we have a large component of his death that is due to natural causes, and some folks might call it natural. There are folks who might consider this death to be accidental, and then there are folks, a small proportion of folks, who may consider that the hands on the other person means it's a classic homicide. But in this particular case, you are not able to, and this is a consensus I've reached among my colleagues and the colleagues at the state level, you cannot parse out how much of his death is due to a natural cause, how much is due to the exertion of running and falling, and how much is due to the actual physical restraint, and therefore it has been ruled an undetermined manner of death.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin by showing you and letting you listen to some of the evidence that the State Bureau of Investigation was able to collect as part of their investigation. And the first clip, or the first thing we're going to let you listen to, is the 911 tape. Okay, if you're ready, you can go ahead and play that.
Police, fire, emergency, Battle. How can I help you?
Hey, we got gunshots in our parking lot at Family Dollars.
Okay, where are you located?
4404 Old Rule Hall Road.
Is anyone hurt?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm not going out there.
I didn't ask you to go outside, sir. I was just asking if you knew if anyone was hurt.
I don't know, ma'am.
How many shots did you hear?
Ma'am.
How many shots did you hear?
I don't know, darling.
All right, I'll have officers dispatched out there.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, we're next going to show you video that was taken outside the Family Dollar store. And what you'll be able to see is that a vehicle pulls up. It looks to be a Mercedes-Benz. Mr. Page, it appears, gets out of the passenger side, engages in an argument and a confrontation with some other gentlemen in the parking lot. Shots are going to be fired, and you'll see people sort of scrambling for cover. So that's the Mercedes pulling up right there. Mr. Page is exiting the passenger side there. And you can see the people scrambling out of the vehicles and ducking down because of the gunfire. And Mr. Page continues walking down Old Walkertown Road. Next, we're going to play you the 911 tape that the SBI was also able to get from the communications center down to the police department. This is from an individual who was out there in the parking lot as well.
Police, fire, emergency, Richugo, how can I help you?
Yes, ma'am, there's some shots fired.
What's the address?
I'm up here at Family Dollar store on Old Rural Hall Road. There's two cars. One young man looked to be about 6'4". He's heavy set, probably looked to be about 280, 290. They shooting at somebody. They chasing him up, probably up around Pulliams. I think they went.
You saw him with a gun?
There was shots fired. This the kid that was shooting. He chasing another young man.
So you saw him with the gun?
Yes, I didn't see him with the gun, but I heard shots fired. My wife saw the gun.
How many shots were fired, sir?
2 shots were fired. Yeah. And then they ran across the street after him, and they got out of, he's on foot, the big guy.
Is he black, white, or Hispanic?
It's a black male.
What is he wearing?
He's wearing like black jeans and a blue shirt, look to be.
And where are they now?
They drive and they left out. Look, they're probably up on Old Walkertown Road. They were right down. The shots started, everything started down here in the parking lot.
What kind of car was he in?
The car that was down was in a Volvo or Mercedes. That's the license plate.
I'm sorry.
DDB is the license plate. 1064.
And I'm sorry, what kind of car was he in? A Mercedes or what?
It looks to be either a Mercedes or a Volvo. And there was the other car following right behind him in a New Yorker. And this guy must be looking for him too. He's flying up this. But I'm up here by Pulliam, going past Pulliam's up on the Old Walkertown Road. And they looking for the boy. The boy that they were shooting after, they hit him. He left on foot, and the boy that was doing.
So was he shot?
That a big guy right there. He's in short.
Okay, so was anyone injured?
I don't know that. The boy that was doing the shooting is walking along the Walkertown Road now. On Walkertown Road. He's in a pair of shorts and a blue shirt.
Okay, he's near Old Walkertown, and where? Is he still near Old Rural Hall?
He's still on, I just saw him right, almost right across the street from, where am I now? Pulliam's hot dog place. In between Pulliam's and, what is that street? I can't remember that. Before you get to Carver Road, though. He's in between Carver Road and Pulliam's, hot dog stand.
We have a report of it. We'll have officers dispatched out. I'm sorry?
Yeah, he's on foot or walking. I guess he's looking for the other young man.
Do you see a weapon on him?
I don't see a weapon now. My wife saw the weapon when they did the shooting at the young boy that he's probably walking around looking for.
Can an officer come and speak with you?
I'm not even at the site or scene now.
Can they call you?
Yeah, they can call this number back.
And your name, sir? We'll have officers dispatched out and have them call you if needed.
So that was the 911 call where Travis Page is now walking down Old Walkertown Road. And to refresh everybody's recollection, when I was reading from the SBI summary of what their findings were in this case, Winston-Salem Police Department officers were right there at Old Walkertown Road and Stowe. And what we're going to show you now is the Axon video camera from Officer Conrad, and you'll be able to see what he saw. And you will also be able to, it picks up from the location where they are looking for the runaway. And just so you'll also understand, we've darkened out the faces so you would not be able to see anybody that is not directly related with this particular investigation.
So there's no other places that you know of where he's
Mm-hmm. That's him. You mind going back inside for me real quick?
Do I want to go back?
Yes, if you don't mind, please.
Oh.
I got to deal with this fella real quick. What you say, bub? Good. Let me see your hands real quick. Put your hands up for me. Put your hands up for me. Go and turn around for me real quick if you don't mind. Drop down to your knees for me. Keep your hands up and drop down to your knees for me. Hey, let me see your hands, man. Hey, come here. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Please, give me some hair.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Hands. Get on the ground! Your hands! Hands out! 10-4, Code 1BK.
Hands.
Old Walkertown at Stowe.
Hands.
Old Walkertown at Stowe. Give me your hands!
You got that one?
Almost.
Let him call it. Just
I
work,
got him.
work. Screw the radio. Just keep doing it. Don't worry about the radio. Do another set. Link that one.
Well, they quit resisting!
I can't get it.
Chris, right hand. I'm just going out.
Yep.
1226, radio check.
Screw him. Just keep doing it. Keep working.
Got it.
Got it.
No, you don't.
Come on. Got it.
Nope.
1229, radio check.
Here. Right there.
25.
Right there.
Got it.
All right, check him.
72.
10-4, 1072 and 1939. Units out of Walkertown, several units respond and advise on their response.
Code 5.
10-4, units out to Old Walkertown at Stowe, Old Walkertown at
Gun in your
Stowe,
pocket.
Code 5.
Coming out. Somebody take his gun. Check him again. Can't check the front side of him. Check his crotch.
Not yet. You did?
Yeah.
All right, that's all I can check from right here. All right. Whatever it is, get it secure before we do anything else.
I got the gun right here.
All right. Here, let's roll them.
Come on out.
Hey, partner.
Come on, we'll get EMS around.
1225 kills. EMS 1018. Come on, bub.
They want to give us a reference.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Spring 18 right now.
Anything?
10-4.
10-18.
122 call.
There he is.
1229, are you 10-4?
Hey, partner.
Good, old police, good.
10-4.
What's the flashlight? Here.
Hey.
Right front pocket.
Hey, partner. Who's got a Starcan kit?
I got a
Here, I got one.
glove box.
I got him. You got one?
Wake up now, come on.
All right, that's hit at 1942. Trying ready to get all your toys.
Yeah, I think so.
He just took it away. I got it.
Whoever's the priest that is, the gun's in the floorboard, right past your side.
That's mine. It's 007 on top of it.
122, you need for a dog.
That's somebody.
That's mine. That's my 007 pad, wherever it's at.
Your 007's on his hood.
All right. Real shallow breathing. Real lethargic whenever we make contact with him. He's been hit with Narcan.
Hey, partner. Talk to me.
Anything on the road?
Get some gloves. Get some gloves.
The road out?
Get some gloves. Bob.
Here. Get these cuffs on the front of them ASAP.
Mark the bridge. Let's get the cuffs up first.
1943.
Give me some light.
1021, can you respond to CK to the HPNL?
Also, TK, show me 10 acres, you're right southbound.
Y'all get ready.
Gain interest in the vacant residence. A house been proposed to be used to live there.
All right.
One.
Code 2, the sound in the car from the signal 6.
We're going to roll.
Roll this way.
One time,
Did you have purpose to live?
Just leave it. Just leave it. Rehook
Right.
this one. Let me when you're ready for some.
Anytime you can get one. I got you right here.
Do you need to give him in the gully more, Eddie, or are you good?
I got him right.
All right.
I got him good right here.
Let me know when you're ready.
Conrad, he got anything in his neck? Full flush.
I didn't feel anything in his neck. I was going to check his femoral real quick.
Who's the priest of this one?
This is mine right here.
Get it in.
Who's got the dope?
I got it in my pocket, sir.
Hold on to that too.
Witness belly.
Conrad, I don't know whose it is.
What do you say?
Witness gut. There it is.
Okay.
He's going to spew in a second. Check for a pulse right quick.
Don't have anything.
Nothing. Back on first.
I wish they would have stopped right here.
Yeah, I know. You want me to pull my car up right in front of it?
Leave that in the box. The EMS is coming.
Yeah, you need a break.
Yeah, you ready to take
Yep,
over?
Yep.
The SBI completed their investigation approximately a month ago, and that report was turned into the district attorney's office. Dr. Mcdonald completed her autopsy and signed off on it on Friday, which brings us to today. We had notified Mr. Page's mother, who would have been the next of kin, as to what the findings were a little bit earlier today, and Dr. McDonald also spoke with her directly as a courtesy, just to be sure that they knew what was going to be coming out today. So what you have then, at the end of the day, is the SBI found that A shooting was taking place outside the Family Dollar on Old Walkertown Road. Travis Page, according to witnesses, was the person firing a gun. It just so happened at that same time the Winston-Salem Police Department was investigating a runaway case right in that same area of Stowe and Old Walkertown Road. Officers approach Travis Page, asked him to get down on the ground. He did not comply with those commands. Instead, he ran across the road. And as you saw in the Axon body camera video, Mr. Page tripped and collapsed in the ditch across Old Walkertown Road. Once on the ground, officers attempted to handcuff Mr. Page around in the back. Mr. Page resisted. They eventually got other officers to come over and assist. They were able to get him handcuffed. Once he was handcuffed, they rolled him back onto his back. And at that point, they discovered that he was unresponsive. One of the officers, as you saw, ran to try and get a shot of Narcan, which again is used if you think that somebody may be suffering a heroin overdose, which we are seeing more and more of in this area. The Narcan did not take effect. Officers then attempted life-saving measures once they discovered that Mr. Page was in distress. Based upon the findings that the SBI has forwarded on to our office, based upon the findings of the medical examiner, that this is an undetermined death, but that Mr. Page suffered from a number of health issues: hypertensive cardiovascular disease, hypertension, acute chronic alcohol abuse, morbid obesity. And I'm not sure if Dr. Mcdonald mentioned the exact alcohol concentration. If you didn't, I believe your findings in the report reflect that it was a 0.19 alcohol concentration with a body mass index of 47. Obviously, as Dr. McDonald explained, there was some bruising. He had some bruising on his knees, which of course could have been consistent with falling across the roadway. In the end, there's no neck, there's no spinal cord injuries, there's no evidence of petechia, which again would be indicative of someone who's being choked, and you would see that primarily in the eyes and mouth. And Dr. McDonald found none of those. Mr. Page suffered from a cardiac dysrhythmia due to hypertensive cardiomegaly, the enlarged heart, in the setting of physical restraint. Some of those contributing factors would have been morbid obesity and acute and chronic alcoholism. As you heard, the cause of death is undeterminative. Therefore, based upon the findings of the SBI and the medical examiner, we find that the police department, these officers involved, acted appropriately under the circumstances and appropriately under what is mandated by law. And furthermore, once they realized that Mr. Page was in fact in distress, they attempted life-saving measures to try and resuscitate Mr. Page prior to loading him in the ambulance.